I was robbed of my destiny by the Jedi, by Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I was robbed of my destiny by the Jedi, by Obi-Wan Kenobi. That weasel. The weasel.
Hey, everybody. Jim Cummings here. Welcome to my podcast, Toon'd In with Jim Cummings. We have a great guest for you today. But before we get to that, make sure you like and subscribe. Our podcast has partnered with the largest Comic-Con in North America, Fan Expo, the Juggernaut. We're touring all over North America live, so get your tickets and come be a part of the live audience. It'll be fun. Go to fanexpohq.com for the tickets. We'll see you in a city near you, or a little bit away, but you can drive. And with all that said and done, sit back and enjoy today's episode. And as always, thanks for tuning in to Toon'd In with Jim Cummings.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Toon'd In with Jim Cummings. I am producer Chris, joined as always by the legend himself, Mr. Jim Cummings. How are you doing today, sir?
And a good morning to you. It's yet another day in paradise.
It sure is.
Ain't it the truth?
We have a very special guest for you today, but before we get to that, I just want to make some quick announcements. If you didn't know what we're doing the podcast live in partnership with Fan Expo this year, that's right. You can actually come and see us record the podcast live, and it's been going great, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
I really like
having a ball.
Yeah, I really like the energy that it brings when you do it live. It's a little different. We still try and keep the same format. Yeah. But, when there's audience engagement, you guys can come up and ask questions and everything like that. It's been cool. We just did the cast of Ed, and Eddie.
Yes, all
in
three
Philadelphia
of them.
This past weekend.
It was very rewarding.
It was. There's some funny
guys. A lot of
Eds. Yeah.
A lot of special Ed.
Well, including you, because you're, Ed in The Lion King.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. Wow, 4 Eds. Who'd have thunk it?
4 Eds on one stage. You got to check it out. And I'll just give you the dates for the rest of the year, with more to be added, to be sure. But the next one coming up is in Chicago, Fan Expo, August 14th to the 16th. Following that is Toronto, August 27th to the 30th, followed by Dallas, September 11th to 13th, and San Francisco, November 27th to the 29th.
Be there.
Yes, be there.
There'll be a nose count.
If you want to get tickets, you can go to fanexpohq.com. You can find all the information there. And there's more dates to be added, possibly Anaheim in a couple weeks here. Possibly Anaheim, so check that out. All right, without further ado, our guest today is a very talented man, on-camera actor, voice actor as well. I think you may have had more voices in Star Wars than any other actor.
I don't know if that's true.
But there's so many.
There's a few. But I mean, there are a lot of people who have a few.
Yes.
Well, you have more than James Earl Jones. I mean, that Hamill guy.
Right. Well, Hamill's been around as well. He hides his voice in certain Star Wars projects. He's in there.
Oh, yeah.
But before we get into it, let me at least say your name. The incredibly talented Sam Witwer joins us today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
Doing good, doing all right. I was driving around Los Angeles and I was like, it was a little bright and I was a little bit like, I want this drive to be cool. So I put on the Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack and LA is never cooler when you're driving around without in the background.
Yeah, that's true, huh?
Yeah.
Was that the Neutron Dance? Was that?
Well, there was that. I didn't go as far as Neutron Dance. You know where I was living? I was living in the sort of action beat. You're the
oh, okay.
So like, when Eddie Murphy is sneaking around and checking like coffee grounds and all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was doing. I was running my errands, but like it was very intense and very, but cool, So, I don't know. Just trying to make LA cool. That's all.
Yeah. Well, it's working.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good job, by the way. It's much cooler now that you've started this campaign.
Yeah.
Send your cards and letters in to Sam Witwer.
Beverly Hills.
That's right.
That's all. You just need the Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack, and your LA can be as cool as mine.
Well, speaking of cool, one cool thing I learned about you when I was doing my research for this episode is that you're in a band called the Crash Tones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not as cool as Beverly Hills Cop, but yeah, it's kind of fun.
What instrument do you play, or do you sing?
A little bit everything.
Okay.
I sing, and then I play all the instruments except for drums. For that, I have a buddy named Tim Hibben who is my drummer, And so we record music when there is time. Unfortunately, there has not been a lot of time recently, but there will be. There always is, as in this business.
Well, that means you're busy.
Yeah.
We like busy.
We like busy. We do like busy. But then when we're busy, we go, if only I could be not so busy. And then when we're not busy, we go, God, what is going on?
I mean, yeah, right.
Do
Grass
things.
is always greener.
Do you have that actors thing? You get done, you wrap one series, you wrap one shoot, you wrap one this, that recording session, you go, oh, now what? Now what? I mean, you're dug in.
Oh,
You're there
I'm that
now.
guy.
You're there.
I'm the guy who, whenever you're on a set or whether you're in a studio, you're recording, whatever, and people are like, "Hey, what's next for you?" And I'm the guy who goes, "Nothing."
Yeah.
And then the day that ends, I'm sometimes lucky enough to be a next thing. I just never know what it is until I do it. So So hey, what's next? As if there are actors out there who have this vast planned out thing.
Yeah.
I find myself to be, at least for the past few years, it has been wall to wall, but never in a way that I can predict. You know,
Yeah.
like so. Whenever hey, what's next for you? I'm like, I think I'm unemployed.
Well,
And
yeah.
I think that's when people pull out the old, I got some projects coming up, but I can't talk about them.
I can't talk
that's
about
right.
them because I don't know about them. I don't have them, strictly speaking.
Yeah.
I have not gotten hired, but
Yeah,
I got all this stuff. I can't really talk about it.
But I'm always gratified when that's true. Every now and then that's true.
Yeah.
Like they had this thing for Hondo Onaka. I wasn't allowed. My Star Wars guy.
Yeah.
I wasn't supposed to talk about it. And all I did was talk about it. I
Did you
just
really?
told everybody I could.
They didn't make you sign an NDA.
They did.
you
I
did.
just didn't. I did, but didn't work apparently.
Well-
I could still speak.
And you just for Hondo, you just did a whole refresh on the ride.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be cool. I like to see that. Have you? What do you think about that?
The ride? I
When
love
you
it.
see, well, not just the ride, but I mean, being part of that whole universe because you're all over. Oh, that's got to be great.
I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
Me too.
For me, I'm just like, yeah, sure, I'll do stuff.
Yeah, heck yeah.
And doing my research on you, I'm like, I was intimidated because I was like, I don't even know if I can talk about Star Wars. Like, you're just going to correct me on everything.
I'm not that kind of nerd.
No, but you really are. Like, you know so much about Star Wars. It's actually so cool. And I heard a story about you, like, literally, like, correcting, the... I'm going to use
storylines
the
or the characters.
Yes.
Much is made of that story. This is something that me and Ashley Eckstein, I think, talked about years and years ago. And what needs the context that people need is that Dave has corrected me countless times. So the story needs to be recontextualized as like, yeah, I got him once. I'm very proud of that. I got him once, but he got me a million times.
Do you mind just telling the story for the people?
And I assume you mean the incredible Dave Filoni.
Filoni.
Filoni. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. What happened was it was the first time I was working on a Star Wars project for him. And there was this wonderful scene between Anakin Skywalker and the ghost of his mother, Shmi Skywalker. And he says to her, I have a wife. I want you to meet her. And they did this wonderful take. And Dave was about to move on. And I raised my hand. I didn't know Dave. I didn't know any of these actors. And I was the new guy. So I said, hey, Padme and Shmi met in Phantom Menace. I don't think he would say, I want you to meet her. He'd say something else. And Dave was like, of course they did. Because the thing is, you're moving so fast on these things. It's a thing that fans don't understand is that when you are going that fast and you haven't had a lot of sleep and you're moving, like everything, whenever I'll see some criticism of something and I'll be like, I happen to know the people that did that. And they had no time or resources to do that. You never do.
Yeah.
So this continuity error he would have discovered it, 10 minutes after he got back to Northern California. He'd be like, oh man, what was I thinking? Like, because these are scripts that were given to him. That was the newest version of the script, this and that. He was powering through it that morning and going, okay, let's direct this. I've made the same types of mistakes. I've made some really if they let me do what I wanted to do, it would have been a disaster. And then Brad Rao or Dave Filoni or Matt Micknovitz would say like, no. When we did Maul and episode, this episode and this season 4, this is what we established. I'm like, right, of course. So it's a vast continuity, and everyone is working really, really fast. And the best you can hope for is that you just have a bunch of people around you who are going to watch your back.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he does.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
Well, I bring that up as a compliment to you because if you're not a fan, you would have never noticed that. If you were just in there, for the paycheck or the job or whatever, if you weren't really invested in the universe of Star Wars, then most likely you wouldn't have noticed.
My theory is that's why Dave liked having me around, because he's like, oh, he's a fellow nerd. He really likes this stuff. But he's. There is no one that I know of that knows Star Wars better than him.
That's right.
It's very
no
apparent because he would do these things. You'd get ready for a record, and you remember this, and you would stand up in front of the cast because sometimes you show up at a job and they give you your lines and like say these, and you're like, great, what does this mean? What does that mean? Just say it. It'll be fine.
Context. Yeah.
Say the words.
You got to have context.
Yeah, and Dave would never do that to us. Dave would stand up and he would perform like a Star Wars monologue describing exactly who these characters are, what they want, what are you doing, what's your purpose in this story, why is this story important for young people today, what does George want to get out of the story, what does George want from your character? And he would just weave this extraordinarily exciting narrative right in front of you that by the time he was done, we were like, oh my God, let's record. We're so excited. We just get everyone so excited about what we were doing.
Yeah, he's got very passionate.
Did you have that experience, Jim?
Yeah. He's extremely thorough.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, he'll say, well, of course, now you're going to be going down and you're going to be seeing, 2 Wookiees, not Chewbacca, these particular guys are from this southern side of, and I'm going, okay. And I don't, I took from it what I could because half the stuff I didn't know what he was talking about. But I was just so impressed with when somebody's that into something and they have all that in-depth knowledge and they impart that to you. And then what's nice is, Dave has his counterparts in the audience because you go to conventions. And, I'm sure, you've had the same experience. Like, well, in the 14th episode, in the second chapter of the 14th, on page, I don't know what page it was on in the script, but did you really mean that? And I was like, what the hell are you talking? Sure. Yeah, I didn't know what they're talking about.
Right.
But I do, you betcha. Yeah. And I admire that. I admire that attention to detail because God is in the details.
Yeah.
Right? Like they say.
And it's not only detail, it's enthusiasm. He has an infectious enthusiasm for Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
And so when he would get into those, I mean, dude, I was shooting some show that I will not name because they wouldn't answer a single question about what my role was, why was I there, what was this meant to be, and what does any of this mean, which is not that usual. I've been lucky to work with people who will actually answer those questions and be like, oh, he wants to do a good job. So let's talk about this. So I was on this show and they were just like, say the words. The words seemed utterly inconsistent. They didn't, and nothing really gelled for me on that. And then I remember flying home because Dave needed 3 pickup lines for me for the finale of Clone Wars. Wow. And he walks out of the booth or behind the glass and he goes, okay, Sam, so where we last, because we'd already recorded this episode. He's like, so you'll remember where we last left off. Your character's going through this. He's having these nightmares. He's doing these. And he just goes into this huge Star Wars monologue to prepare me for 3 pickup lines. And let me tell you, there was once he did your prep for you. It's like you didn't have to prep at all. You were just excited. Yeah. You knew exactly what he was aiming for. And he was excited to be there. You were excited to be there. And those lines for Star Wars fans out there, that's what resulted, because we then started riffing on something. And then me and Dave came up with the whole, you're all going to burn, we're all going to die, you don't know what you're doing. It's Maul trying to be the guy in Body Snatchers being like, you're next, they're here, you're next.
Oh, yes.
He has a moment like that in the end of the Clone Wars where he's trying to warn everyone that the end of the world is coming. But that level of excitement was gifted to me by our director, Dave Filoni. So I truly love the way he does that.
Yeah. Dave, if you're out there, we love you and miss you. Hire us again. Okay.
he's not busy at all.
Yeah.
To watch.
I imagine.
Well, since you mentioned Maul, you've been playing that character, voicing that character for 15 years now?
15 or 16 years.
15 or 16 years. And now you have the new show that just came out, Maul Shadow Lord. Yeah. Did you bring any new aspects to this character this time around?
I better have. If we're going to do him after 15, 16 years, if we're going to do him again.
Yeah.
Better have a lot of new aspects. You know, that's certainly what I've been aiming for the whole time, and what I hope we're continuing to aim for with this character.
Nice.
You know, because it's with these characters, whether it's Hondo or Maul or any of these characters, it's like you don't, unless it's a fun little cameo, you can get away with some stuff there. But if you're going to put them front and center, you'd better learn something new about them. Otherwise, why are you doing it? It's like when Hondo was with the kids in the Younglings arc.
The Younglings.
And you find out,
That was a great
this
little
guy's got a
run.
heart. This guy's, there's some empathy there. He just keeps it covered up.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I was like, yes, of course. Like, it would almost not be worth having Hondo here if you weren't going to discover something surprising about the character. Yeah. So...
Yeah, well, thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, he's one of my favorite all-time guys.
He's great.
Did you ever have, like for me, when I read long time ago, they were sending out these breakdowns and blah blah blah, and I just remember reading for him and I thought, okay, I really want to be this guy because he's not a good guy, and he's not a bad guy. And he's right there, and he skates around in the middle there, and he's like a sort of a paladin, sort of a.
Right.
You know, people have compared him to Captain Jack Sparrow, which I think, I mean, not vocally, I would think, but he's a scoundrel, but he's a good scoundrel.
He's self-serving.
Yeah,
self-serving, but still with like a good heart. You know.
Yeah.
He still knows what's morally right from wrong. He knows when he's
Yes.
doing wrong.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing wrong,
so
but he
does
justifies that.
Exactly.
But, you know, he's the kind of a guy who, there's a certain Robin Hood aspect to him. You know, yes, I am a thief, and I'm really good at it. So how about that? But on the other hand, I won't steal from your grandma.
Right. I'll never forget Hondo, when Maul and Hondo had a run-in.
Yeah.
And they had this one wonderful line read where I had commandeered some of your men and they were working for me, and you said, "Oh, you've done this thing. Oh, you betrayed me. I'm so proud."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so betrayed.
It's so betrayed. Yes. I'm so proud. It's so betrayed. That's true. Yes.
It's like, no, get me wrong,
Yeah.
but good
You
job.
screwed me, but a pretty good job.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Well, I like that aspect of him.
Yeah.
It's kind of rewarding. And do you, when you see yourself, when you hear yourself, is there a part of you that squirms a bit in anticipation? Because I get a little of that every now and then. Of course, I've been doing it for so long, I'm okay with it.
Right.
But you're on camera as well.
I hate being.
And did you ever?
You said you hate it?
I hate it.
You really?
I do.
You just.
I do. I love
Look,
it.
he's coming. I hate it.
I know.
I don't even want to talk about
that's true.
this.
No,
Yeah.
I love doing it. I love telling the stories. I love also using whatever tools I have at my disposal to tell the story. I don't know that I always enjoy watching it.
Oh.
When it comes to the vocal thing,
Look at this guy. You look like a rock star, a soap star.
Looks like
And he's
Superman.
Sitting, and you're sitting there going, "Yeah, I really can't stand it because I mean, after all, oh, shut up and go get over it." You know,
it's well, but you know, it's all kinds of things. It's maybe you don't
Yeah.
like something about how you look, but it's also you don't
Yeah.
like something about how you perform or behave, or you're like, what the hell am I doing with my hand there? What is that? You know, like, so, you know, and it's not about, with any of these things, it's not about having control for me over the craft. It's just, I then have to confront, what did I want to do versus what did I actually do? And the good news, and the thing I always tell my friends is, I'm like, the audience doesn't know what you want to do. They only know what you did. So if they enjoyed it and you got it done, mission accomplished, put it away. However, it is hard to, I am confronted with that every time. Be like, I was going for that. But was the story told? Was it sort of told. Okay, it's told. Okay, I'll move on. I'll move on.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's that. But with the vocal thing, I think Maul is so far away from my speaking voice that I almost don't recognize him. So I could watch Maul, and maybe enjoy it more. And just be as a fan, just be like, oh, look, it's Darth Maul. I like that character.
Oh yeah, that's
So-
great. Can you give us a little for the kids at home?
We meet again, Hondo.
Yes, we do. Yes. Thank you for using my character's name in there.
No problem. No problem. The characters are so interesting.
Yeah.
What was it like to see Hondo as an animatronic figure?
Yeah, wow, that's a good question. You know, I remember doing it, and I've told this before. They invited me over to Imagineering, Disney Imagineering, and they're just kind of walking me through this incredible storyboard, and it looked like what they do for a movie.
Yeah.
And I go, and I said, so I was told that this is all on spec and you're not doing, but look, you did this, all this big rigmarole just for on spec. And he goes,
Wait. On explain that. What?
yeah. And that's what he said. And I forget who I was with, but he said, oh no, it's halfway done. It's already under construction. It's being built as we speak. And I go, and you're trying to convince me to do it? You couldn't let me. I would pay you to do this.
Right. Couldn't tear me away.
I would. You couldn't. And they think that they're pitching you. It's like, you're not pitching me. I'm dying to do this. We can go. Shall we?
Do you tell them that, or do you? Keep
Yes.
It? I always
just
like to
did.
play my cards close to my chest and be like, "Wow, that's really interesting."
Yeah.
Because I think you're on the right track there. That's pretty
Yeah. Keep up the good work. I'll
whereas
let you know.
Yeah, internally, I'm just losing my
Yeah.
mind.
Well, I figure I'll let my agent do the hard arm.
Yeah.
The hard bargaining stuff.
Right.
But, yeah. Unbelievable. That's. Did you ever? I mean, I remember. How old was I? I guess I was a teenager when Star Wars first came out.
Right.
You know, and I just thought it was the coolest damn thing in the world because it was the coolest damn thing in the world.
Yeah.
You know, and to finish growing up and now growing old, but and to be involved in it is just a kind of a dream come true.
And there's a distinction also. Look, any Star Wars, I think, is because there's a lineage at that company that comes from George. So many of the people that we've worked with were trained by George, and so many of the people that work on these things, Dave Filoni, trained by George, but not only him, so many people at that company went to the Lucasfilm Film School with George. But what is interesting, what is fun, is that the animation division of Lucasfilm, that was created by George. So it became the moment he did that, it became a core part of Star Wars. And the fact that it is still a core part of Star Wars is so incredible. Lucasfilm Animation has been around for 20 years now. And so we definitely have the fun distinction of having served under George Lucas on his animated show. I just saw this video, and I wish they'd made more of these public because they have tons of this footage. And it was George Lucas. Someone was interviewing him, and we'd all seen interviews with George Lucas. He goes, "Well, Han Solo is on Hoth, and he's trying to figure out how to get the Falcon out." And he'll talk about something that happens in the movie. And
It's a good impression.
Yeah.
I saw him discussing. He's like, "Well, you have to understand that Ventress, being a Night Sister, comes from the planet Dathomir, and that's a planet of witches, and the male-female hierarchy is a different type of thing. They control the magic and the force there, and then the brother of Darth Maul." And he goes into all these details about the Clone Wars, and I'm like, why didn't they put more of this out there? Because he was so involved in all those stories. Hondo is an interesting guy because I don't know if you ever knew this, when they played the Youngling arc, they cut together the episodes into one. Were you there in the theater when they watched it with the kids?
Oh, with the kids? Oh, I don't think so.
There was a presentation at one of the Star Wars celebrations, and they cut together the Youngling arc into a movie. And they actually just went to anyone that had small kids and said, "You're invited to an event. You're invited to an event." And they played it. And no one knows this. This is not of record, but I know this. George hid in the back watching it with the kids. How cool is that?
I found out that's a common practice.
George,
for producers and everything, they sneak around and go in the back.
he was in the back. He wanted to watch it with the kids. He wanted to see what they thought of these younglings trying to traverse a galaxy far, far away, and with Hondo in the middle of it. And well, if you didn't know that, you know that now.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's good stuff.
it's so cool. But yeah, he loved it. George, I believe, wanted to be an animator. So animation, I think he went to USC.
So he's basically a failure.
Animation. Yeah, he failed spectacularly.
Spectacularly so.
By failing, he changed the world 17 times over.
Yes, exactly right.
But it is interesting to think that people like George Lucas or Walt Disney or whomever, animation was a core interest. And in fact, when you watch, say, the prequels and stuff, I mean, it had better be a core interest because some of those characters are, in fact, animated. That's what they are.
Yeah.
And, a large chunk of those prequels are actually kind of animated films, the clones and the droids and the creatures and all that stuff. So, I never had a chance to ask George, although I had some nice run-ins with him. I never had a chance to ask him what he loved about that so much. But people did sort of share with me that for him, who, he had to spend years and years and years making these films, but with the animated thing, he could put an idea on the table and within a year start seeing that be finished. And that was, I understand, a real thrill for him, being like, wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I was just about to say that makes sense to me because I feel like animation is like a very direct outlet of your imagination.
Right.
Even with, cameras and different mediums, there's still, the lighting and there's a whole lot of other factors that you have to consider and able to, in order to be able to bring a vision to life. Yeah. Animation is kind of, it's like direct. It's a direct link, especially when you're doing it by hand. Of course, people do it by computer and everything these days.
Our show is all of the above. The map paintings on our show are real map paintings in real life, real paint on, canvas or glass.
You're talking about Shadow Lord.
On Shadow Lord, where our map paintings are real map paintings made in the physical world that we we photograph. Some of the pyro effects are, I think are. There's quite a bit of live action photography that we sneak in there, a spaceship or two, and then when it comes to the character animation, I'm a consulting producer on the show, so I get to flit around like a butterfly between these different divisions and bother them, and what it's sort of resulted in is I get to hang out with the animation department and shoot reference, not with the idea that I would dictate what it is that they're supposed to do because they've been animating Maul successfully for 15 years, but it's throwing more ideas into the pot. Wow. Being like, have you thought about this? I'm like, I come from live action, so let's.
That's great.
So when they will choose the scenes, there will be key scenes. They're like, we'd like to know what you would do with this. So they would send me off. They'd give me direction. We'd talk it over, and they say, we want this, we want that, we want that. And they'd show me the animatic, and then we will shoot reference. And what's fun is how they mix and match. I'll be watching a Maul performance and be like, oh, that little thing he did with his eyes right there, that was something that we came up with when we were doing the reference. Okay, no, that's interesting. Oh, they did a really cool thing there. Oh, that's totally different. Okay, there's a little thing that we threw in there.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So it's just adding more ideas to the...
Nice. Well, that's nice.
It's really fun.
Well, God is in the details, right?
Sort of. I mean, kind of, yeah. That's everyone on that show has been thinking way outside the box in terms of how we make that.
Wow.
So
well,
yeah.
And then you reap the harvest. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. When it works, it's a great thing. It's just, with Star Wars, the standard is sky high. So
my God,
do you feel like there's a pressure there then?
Always.
Yeah.
I never, when we were well received, I had to be reminded by our producer, Athena Portillo, who you probably know from, she's our fearless general. And she had to remind everyone, like me and Brad Rao, who is the head of the show, the showrunner, filmmaker extraordinaire. He's the Dave Filoni of this show. Dave is the George Lucas of our show.
Yes, that's right.
Created it, so he hands down the big ideas, and then Brad and his directors implement that. And then the writing team is led by Mac Miknovitz, who goes way back with us with Clone Wars and all that stuff. But Athena, who's, a nuclear powered producer, she had to tell us, and certainly tell me more than once. She's like, "Hey, Sam, we're airing, and I understand we're still working on stuff. Put it away. Enjoy this. Have fun with the fact that people are having fun with this." And she had to tell me that a few times. She's like, "This is a special thing. Enjoy it. Put your worries aside, and then let's get back to work some days after we do that."
Yeah.
So, But for me, if left to my own devices, I would have just brooded the whole time. I would have been like, what do we have to do now in season 2?
Yeah.
Did you ever get that message in your career? I mean, with so many successful characters, and you've voiced so many, hundreds of characters. Did you ever have a chance to just like kind of sit back and be like, yeah, I'm enjoying this now? Or was it always just one after another, let's look at the next thing?
Yeah, it's a little of both. It's a little of both. And the thing that kind of turns it around, see, like guys like me, us, we spend our lives mostly alone in recording studios. And of course, with COVID, forget it. But there'd be a producer, there's the writer, there's the producer, and recording engineer. So you don't get the feedback. You don't get that. It's not like you're in a play, and so because you get that automatic feedback, and that's why that's another thing I like about going to conventions. You can see people come up to in the third episode of the Mask when you played the Swedish organ grinder. It's so nice to know that there is an impact out there because you don't get it. You don't get it. And it's because when you're in a play or something like that, instant feedback. Oh, they laughed. Oh, that was great. Oh, now they're crying, and you don't get that. With animation or for that matter, TV. In general, you do it. You go home.
Do you find filming on set boring? I'm an actor myself. You said you don't. I know you're being facetious, but you don't like acting. But
I just think it's hard.
I was a theater actor in college. I really was in love with theater and being on stage and everything. And I remember when I got my first TV role, I remember sitting in the green room like, oh my God, this is just like waiting all day.
For hours,
Can we do something? Like, every team has their turn, the grips, lighting, camera, get everything set up. Rehearsal is literally like, not every case, but it's like sitting there reading your sides to each other. It's not really performing.
I've had moments where the tedium made me ask myself whether I enjoyed it or not. But I did come to the conclusion that I did. The mass of professionals that are all doing their job and creating the image and lighting it and making sure that everything is heard. And there is something really exciting about that energy. And there is something exciting about the whole, hurry up and wait. You're waiting. And they're like, okay, good. All right, we need you to cry now.
Showtime.
And action. Oh, okay. And when you see actors that can pull that off and do whatever performance they need to on wait, and now, it's exciting. I actually absolutely love being on a set, provided it's a good group of people. And I've been
It's
lucky.
a challenge, isn't it?
Yeah. I've been lucky to work with mostly really, really nice, great people. And if they're funny, then you're dead because between all the setups, you're just cracking each other up. Those are, if you're a regular on a show, those days are anywhere from 16 to 18 or 19 hours typically a day.
Right.
And if you're like one of the leads, you're there every day. So if you have a good group of people, then at least you have some sort of social life because you're talking to people while there's setups happening and you're kind of living a little bit of a life on that stage. But I've done shows that were so all-encompassing that my brain identifies the set or the locations as having really happened, and I kind of was that person.
Yeah.
And on some level, I know the difference, obviously, but like it's a little bit like, you know, there were certain sets that I'm like, that was my home. Lived there. It was the place that I lived. So
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. I worked crew on the CW's Arrow, Green Arrow, for a couple years. Yeah. And it got to the point, you know, you've worked in Vancouver, you know, on Riverdale and a couple other series, if I'm not mistaken, up in Vancouver. And everybody knows each other up there. And just to what you were saying, you know, it becomes such like a family. Like it's like a work family, but you're there literally, you know, all day.
All day.
Like you go home, you sleep, and then you're back.
Yeah.
And we used to refer to, you know, like, oh, today we're in Felicity's apartment. You know, it's not stage A3, you know, it's like we're in Felicity's apartment. Yeah. And then it just kind of like, it's that blending of what you're fantasizing, imagining, you know, and what's real.
Very attached to those spaces, you know. So we, and on this one show I did called Being Human, our set, not to spoil it for anyone that watches the show, but at the end, the place burns down. So I remember we toured the set after the art department had their way with it, where they burned down chunks of it. There were green screens where you were supposed to be able to see through the wall and stuff like that. That was traumatizing to walk through that set and be like,
no kidding.
We've lived here for years. This was our apartment.
Now it's
it's burned down.
Yeah.
And we're going to shoot some scenes on this burned down set, and then they're going to take down the burned down set. That was
surreal.
That was rough.
A little
rough.
Tough.
And that's after how many years? How many years did that show go for?
It was 4. Yeah. It was 4 years. And those days were so very long that we lived there. They did let us take home pieces of the set. I have a chair that was very proudly featured in the show, and that chair's mine now. So
oh, that's great. Is it's not burned down though?
No, they took it out.
It's not a big pile of ash.
I think they put some wood there to represent it. They left it alone. They didn't burn it down. Yeah. But I do love the live action stuff. What I don't love, I just don't love it, is being on the road all the time. I don't love that. That's why I veered more heavily toward voiceover and other entertainment jobs, because look, I met a dog, and that dog was like, bro, you travel too much. You know, this dog showed up. I moved into my house 11 years ago, and this dog turned up in my backyard 2 months after I moved in. And suddenly, and this was, the plan was, I'll foster this dog or whatever. But I fell in love with him very quickly. It took me a while to admit how in love with him I was. And he was this American Bulldog boxer pit bull mix, or perhaps he was an Alapaha Bulldog. We don't really know. It's depending on the DNA test. You have no idea what his history was, but his effect on my life was he just took command in a very real sense. That this dog, like, he claimed my house. He made me completely reconceive of my life, being like, hey, you've done all the traveling, been in any city but where you live, you know, which is just what I did for, I don't know, a better part of 20 years. And he's like, don't you think it's kind of cool to be here in one place, waking up in the same house, drinking your coffee, and
having a little kibble,
being with my dog, you know?
Yeah.
And he, you know, suddenly it was more important to me to see his face every morning. Now, I did do a few jobs where I was gone at one point, better part of a year. But the part that sucked about it is I'm like, I'd rather be home with my dog. Yeah. And then he rescued another dog. So then I had 2 dogs, and then eventually 3 dogs. Like this guy, this guy made all the calls.
And so you had a menagerie.
Right. So for me, it reconceived of my work-life balance, really. And so what I unabashedly don't like about film and TV is we don't do it here anymore. If it was here and I could go home to my dogs,
that'd be great. Yeah.
Then I'd be like, I'm going to pursue the hell out of it. But the fact that I've lived in Vancouver on, I think, 3 separate occasions. I've lived in Montreal. I've shot in every city conceivable. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of all that travel.
Yeah. I always say, I completely agree. Like, LA is not really like a film and television city anymore. I really think it's more of like a social media city now.
Is that explain it to me, because I don't know what LA is. I know that I played the...
Yeah, I don't know what... Nobody knows what LA is.
When I came to this realization, I did a little like skit for a YouTube channel a few years ago. And I show up to set. This is during COVID, so yeah, a few years ago, still counts. And I show up, and it's an entire soundstage. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. You know, I thought like maybe they rented it out or something. No, this one YouTube channel owned the soundstage just for their one channel.
Wow.
And that was like eye-opening to me. I was like, oh my God. And then another time I'm driving down Sunset Boulevard, and I see a billboard for a YouTube channel. And I was like, I've never seen that before, you know, and you walk down Hollywood Boulevard, you go to Santa Monica, Venice, wherever, West Hollywood, you know, the night scene, it's all influencers, you know, that's like who's in the VIP. That's, I mean, when I was a teenager, you know, running around doing my thing in LA, like it was always like actors, you know, it was always actors or musicians. That's right. And you know, now you go out at night and you see people, you know, doing street interviews and, you know, and that's all the, you know, attraction and what people want to be around. And at least in this city, in my opinion.
Yeah, boy, it's so true. And it's something that wasn't even there before.
No.
Oh, yeah, it's a brand new thing.
I mean, everybody's diving in. Everybody and their dog has a podcast.
But then even, you know, even further, how I say I don't really think it's a film and television city anymore is because the only real things that film here are like the massive budget things, you know, with the A-listers, either that or indie, you know, very indie. And the cost of the permits to film, you know, to be able to use any kind of recognizable area in LA is just astronomical. And so a lot of the times, you know, the indie guys are doing it guerrilla style, getting what they can, you know, to try and put in a film festival or whatever. And then, you know, obviously you still have, you know, the shows like, what's that Steve Carell show where they're on the news?
The Office? No.
No. It's like The Morning Report. The Morning Report with girl from Friends. I'm drawing such a blank.
We're doing great. It's all right because
it's Steve Carell and the girl from Friends. Okay,
her
Aniston.
Yes, Jennifer Aniston. Yeah, they filmed that. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Good for them, man. I'm glad someone is shooting here. I mean, like, I'm kind of deeply resentful about it at this point because it's like when I first.
But I moved here for this.
Isn't that it?
Whack.
This is what we're talking about. Like, we flew in and we saw blankets of
Where'd you
smog
go?
over the city.
And
we put up with the time that it took.
Yeah.
And then the city cleared up and the smog went away, but so did the movies. What the? I mean,
Coincidenza?
Dude. Maybe movies make smog.
Yeah, exactly.
We need tax credits. That's what we need. Everybody just goes wherever the tax credits are.
I'm
that's true.
actively angry about it because the thing is that, I mean, when I was conceiving of being an actor, the idea was I would live in Los Angeles and maybe go from show to show. And I had that experience for just a few short years. And then suddenly I was in anywhere but LA.
When did you get that urge in you as like in your childhood or adolescence? When did you know that you wanted to do that?
I did plays and stuff when I was in high school, but I never took it seriously. I was always like, it's for fun. I was coerced into auditioning for Juilliard, and that's what gave me the first idea of, okay, well, maybe there's something that I can pursue here.
Well, you must have impressed somebody.
Not a bad school.
Well, I think the reason I got in is that I wasn't trying to impress anyone. I guess I was just like, I'm just some kid. What are we doing here? You know, I had like long hair. I think that irreverence got me far. But you know, when I eventually was like, after I was invited to leave Juilliard after 2 years, and I accepted their invite.
You were invited to leave.
I was invited to leave, and I accepted.
Yes.
I had to go to Chicago and seek out camera classes because I knew that I didn't know a damn thing about acting in front of a camera. And that's when I was like, yeah, I want to go to LA. I want to. Really, my ambition was to just like, maybe I can guest on a bunch of different shows. That was all I thought might happen. And that took me a while, but I started living that life and it was great. I was, you know, affordable rent, and you would get a job and you'd go like, dude, I just paid 3 months rent with this job and expenses and utilities. I just bought myself 3 more months of auditioning for the next job. Or then maybe the next job, you're like, oh my God, that was 3 or 4 or 5 more months rent, but also this show airs all the time. I'm going to get residuals that are going to keep me alive a little bit longer, and just kept stringing hope to hope to hope. I think it sucks that there's no central location where actors can do that anymore. I think that.
Yeah.
I also think that the city's become ridiculously expensive, and so
You are right about that.
yeah, so when you say like, oh, it's really a social media city, I'm like, tell me about what LA is, because like I said, I'm playing the Beverly Hills Cop soundtrack just to try to give it some shape, just to try to define what it is for myself. Is it this? Is it?
Well, Jim, I think you've said the same thing about voiceover as well. You know, you know, I mean, we've had so many people on this podcast alone where, you know, we're all talking about recording, you know, just all in this area in Burbank. You know, you guys are sharing memories of studios that you all used to see each
Thank
other
God it's
in.
here, by the way. But yeah, still voiceover.
Cross paths. But I mean, voiceover has also moved in a very similar direction where, you know, it's like a give and take, you know, it broadens the opportunity for people outside of LA, you know, to be able to participate in this industry. You know, you can audition from wherever, you can record voices from wherever, but also it increases the amount of competition, right?
Yes, I agree. But, you know, I remember, you know, I had this place in Missouri, and I couldn't spend much time there because there was no ISDN line. There was no recording facilities there. Well, now you can just carry around an attaché case or a gym bag, and there's your studio.
Right.
So you know, I'll take it. I love that part.
Would you rather be in Missouri or?
Yes. Well, it was a lot of fun. Well, it was this big, huge acreage, and there's 3 lakes and a lot of fish and a lot of deer, and where the deer and the antelope play, they're playing there. And so, you know, that was just kind of heavenly. We're actually stopped in for a visit just recently, and it was very rewarding. You know, there's a lot of life out. See, the thing is about California is the weather.
Yeah.
I mean, my gosh.
Is that why people come here? Is the weather?
I think, it's why they stay.
Someone else said that to me.
Yeah, it's why they stay. And all you have to do is, like, I'm born and raised in Youngstown, Ohio. If all I need to do to reaffirm my love for California is to go to Youngstown, Ohio in January.
So you hate winters?
Well, I get it. But if you're not skiing in it, what's the point? I mean, you know, make one snowman. Got it. Got that out of the way.
Maybe a snow angel.
Maybe a snow angel. But only if you fall down.
Right.
And you're already on the ground, so you might as well make one.
You're there.
You might as well make it work.
Yeah.
But no, I like to visit snow. I don't like snow to visit me.
Interesting. See,
So I become a
grew up
weather
in-
snob, I guess. I don't know.
I grew up in a suburb of Chicago, so I know.
Oh, well, you
what it is
understand the
speak of.
concept.
But weirdly, and tell me if I'm out of my mind.
You're out of your mind.
But also tell me if I'm wrong about this. I kind of miss it. I miss seasons.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Now, I do miss the seasons. You know, spring and fall.
Oh my God.
You got to love it, yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. And I bet you did the same thing. When, you know, you're in 3rd grade, there was this thing that when the leaves started to turn, you had to go out and pick out a really, really good one, then take it back home, put it on wax paper. Then you fold it over very carefully. Then you put a towel on top of that, and then you iron it, or you have your mom iron it, and then you take it to school. Look, mine's orange.
That's right.
And yellow, and it was wonderful.
Yep.
And I do miss the fall because just driving around through Mill Creek Park, for those of you who know where that is, both of you. And it was just, I miss the seasons. I just don't want to be forced to sit in snow all day.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, when I moved here as a kid, it was a culture shock to me to not have seasons. Yeah, I grew up in Vancouver.
Oh, you have seasons.
Right on.
And when I first moved here, I remember telling one of my friends, I was like, I didn't know this place was a desert. And they started laughing.
Yeah.
And they were like, this isn't a desert. Like, look at all the, the trees and the grass. And
Yeah.
I was like, that's all irrigated. Like, that's not naturally growing.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
the other thing that culture shocked me was the Christmas lights with like no weather. It was like sunny and like people putting Christmas lights and snowmen out on their, I was just like, that's kind of weird. Like, why are you putting a snowman up? Like, there's no snow here.
Yeah.